Good day, everybody, and welcome to another video on giving you some information on relocating to Panama, and mainly specifically to the Pedasi area, but I try and keep it a little bit more broad and vague than just specifically on Pedasi. But I sell real estate in the Pedasi area primarily, so I tend to speak to what I'm a bit of a market expert on, and that tends to be where a lot of the videos tend to focus on a little bit more. But I do know more about the rest of Panama as well. But a lot of times the examples that I give tend to be to the Pedasi area. So today we're going to be talking about gated communities. And it's always the question that when people come here, some people are very much set on that they want a gated community. Some people think they need a gated community. Some people haven't thought about a gated community because they don't have them in their countries that they're coming from. And other people are going to be here part-time, so sometimes that's the option that makes the most sense. So today we're going to talk a little bit about the different types of gated communities and a few of the other places that are like communities. We're also going to talk about the structures of gated communities, because there's a couple different types of structures that exist in Panama that help form the gated communities. And by structures, I mean legal structures or community structures. We're going to talk a little bit about the fees that are around gated communities and the different types of names that are associated with those fees. Some people call them HOAs, some people call them stratas. I've heard a few other names that I can't remember right now that are associated with that. We're going to talk a little bit about security, and is a gated community necessary for security or a better feeling of your personal safety in Panama. We're also going to talk about the politics of gated communities and what goes along with living within a community and becoming part of the community. I'm going to try and keep that one fairly neutral and not put too many opinions in, but just give some anecdotal stories. Talk a little bit about the developer control of a gated community, depending on when you buy into that community and where the structure and how much equity or possession that developers still have within communities. Also, there's some horror stories that go along with gated communities and things that have happened with bad things that have happened to people that have bought into certain gated communities that have left them financially in trouble. We're talking about success stories on gated communities that have formed or gated communities that have turned around some of the horror stories. And then we're also going to talk about, like I said in the beginning here, a little bit about some of the other communities that are within the area that I live in that are not gated but are very structured communities that people live in. And we'll talk a little bit about living in town, but I think we're going to save most of that for another video. And we'll talk a little bit about where the rules sit within gated communities and how strong they are versus maybe some other countries. So if you want to know all about everything that I just covered and the list of things I just went down, basically for the rest of this video, I want you to go over and click on the link that's below this within the main section, the information of the video, and go over and check out my Patreon. And join the Patreon, and the rest of this video covering all of those details that I just went over will be over at my Patreon. Thanks, and I'll see you there.